Good morning, everyone. It's just now 11 o'clock. I am ShaunJude McCoach. I am the sales manager here at the Central Penn Business Journal, and I will be leading today's webinar on selling digital for the new Sales Academy Reloaded. I appreciate everyone jumping on today. So hopefully we'll be able to plow through our content. There will be a time at the end for question and answer if time permits. So please feel free to chat your questions into the window. Everyone is in listen-only mode. That way I can be respectful to those that have questions, make sure I get to everything. I also have created the hashtag for Twitter, hashtag JMSalesWebinar for today. So if you'd like to tweet at me at SJMcCoach with your questions, that would be fine. I'm following the hashtag here in my office, so we'll also try to get to those questions as well. So thanks again for jumping on. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce Brian Hodge, who'd like to kick off our Sales Academy today. Brian, if you would.
Thanks. Hi guys, just a quick announcement that we have made a revised version of the sales handbook. Now, if you've been with us for a while, you might remember this as something that was in a 3-ring binder, and it's got details about all the steps and procedures for our sales process. We went through and updated that with some of the recent training and added a lot of Kelly's material from the sales training that we all participated in Connecticut, and just revised the document. So you'll have that, you'll see that. The purpose of this Sales Academy is really to reinforce those procedures. And so that was the only announcement. Look for the new sales handbook. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dave. Dave Shankwell.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to have the sales team all together, even though it's electronic. As always, I want to thank all of you for what you do on a daily basis. I especially want to thank those who are making their budgets. Nice work, and there's a lot of that going on across all business units, so I truly appreciate that. This is beginning of year 2 of our Sales Academy, and I'm very excited about the topics that will be covered this year. And we're very fortunate to have a number of in-house experts on our management team to be able to offer insight into different aspects of what you all do for Journal Multimedia and the things you're working with your clients on a number of products that we offer out there. For our new folks, this is great information that will help you in working with your clients. For you old-timers, and I won't name names, and I'm speaking, of course, about length with the company, not about age. It is a great refresher for you, but having previewed Sean's presentation today, a lot of great new information that will be very helpful for you. His presentation is a very good one. I've seen a lot of stuff on this topic, and I'm thrilled that Sean is kicking off Sales Academy with his topic because he's put a lot of time into it, and you will see a lot of great information in the next hour from Sean. So Sean, thank you for being able for kicking us off and leading us into Sales Academy. You know, it's you all are on the front line and see it the most. Our world at Journal Multimedia is changing. Fortunately, we continue to do well in many areas, especially with our web budgets. We're seeing some great numbers this year on web. And with Sean's help today, we can do even greater things with the understanding he's going to be bringing to you. Sales Academy is one way to keep all our sales team up to date on new and different techniques and new and different information that are out there. Our sales managers are all off to the AABP conference coming up here in June, and I'm very excited for them to be able to meet with their peers across the country to get even more information about what's out there, as well as learn from some external experts on the latest and greatest techniques that they can bring home and work with each of their sales teams on. I'd also like to say I've talked to my friends, the other publishers in the Northeast. We will be again offering sales training for 2 days with all our Northeast partners like we did last year. I don't have a date for you yet. The good news is we don't have to go to Connecticut. They've asked us to host it in New Jersey, so the ride will be shorter for many of us, and that's a good thing. So I'll be getting information out to all of you about that. So that's all I have to say. So get your pens and papers poised, because Sean's going to dig right in. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate your time and kicking us off today. So good morning again. I'm very excited to bring this topic to everyone. It's a topic that is very close to my heart. I have spent the last 10 years of my career in a digital capacity before joining the Central Penn Business Journal and JM, most recently as the Director of Digital Sales for the Digital First Media Group based in New York. So I'm very excited about today. I'm pleased to be able to kick us off. Again, feel free to tweet at me at SJMcCoach and use the hashtag JMSalesWebinar. It'd be great to have that thread going on, especially for those who may not be able to join us today if they'd like to come back and revisit some of the questions. I am recording today's session, so that should also be available. And because it's the standard question, yes, I have the PowerPoint available, and we'll be sending it out to the sales managers probably through our new public drive at the end of the presentation. So please, all questions I'll take at the end, and let's get started and try to stay true to our hard stop today at 12 o'clock. So let's go a little bit through what it is we're going to talk about today. I tried to come up with some different talking points around things that I'm hearing out in the community, talking a little bit about consumer trends. A big thing for me as I am out and have been out selling digital products is understanding how people are engaging and how people are consuming news, information, technology, and what it is that people are doing every day. It kind of levels the playing field a little bit as I'm sitting there across from someone and try to relate to how it is they are utilizing technology. How are they utilizing the internet and apps and mobile and things of that nature today? But also to try to educate, enlighten, and bring to the table how are consumers and how are their customers and how is the audience that they desire, how are they utilizing this technology, and what's the best way to try to go about reaching them with their marketing message. I want to talk a little bit about the landscape of digital products. Different digital products offer different kinds of results. Some are very top of the funnel, awareness, brand-centric. Others you'll find at the bottom of the funnel are much more direct response. It's helpful to understand these different types of products and the different stages of the sales life cycle that they fall into so you can be a better consultative salesperson and understand just what the needs of the advertiser really are. The trust factor, really important around metrics, around understanding what metrics are and what metrics are important to the advertiser and what it is that they're trying to accomplish. Then my personal opinion on what our mission digital is. What is our mission? What are we trying to accomplish as we produce content, we produce a quality audience, and we try to establish value for our ad partners. Getting a little bit further into what it is we exactly sell. This might be a bit of a refresher for a lot of you on the phone. Some of you that are on the phone today, certainly my hope for you would be to take this piece for your professional development as you grow within our company and understand as a whole what our digital offerings are and how we are selling them today. I want to talk a little bit about the process. Again, more or less the process that I've gone through over the last 10 plus years in selling a digital product and what I've seen to be effective in terms of questions, what I look for out of the call, and determining whether or not there is a fit with my advertiser and the products that I'm offering. Backing up a little bit again into the competitive landscape. Who is selling what and what are they offering? It is a great way to understand then just the myriad of digital products are available and who is in your own backyard and who is selling what and who your competition is in this space. Okay? I want to talk a little bit about the core, 2014 and beyond. Who are we today? Who are we today? And who are we going to be as we continue to move forward and we continue to grow as a company? Briefly talk about objections. I think you'll enjoy that part of this presentation because that's the thing we face the most often. And again, if there's time at the end, I will open up to questions. Feel free to tweet those at me. or use the chat box, and I will check that at the end, and we will move through from there. So thanks again, everyone, for your time. So today's consumer trends. I was fortunate enough to go out and find a great white paper that Google had produced on what they titled the new multi-screen world. And I have a link to it here, and I will include that with the presentation today. And some of the bullet points I thought were necessary to touch on as we talk about digital and digital sales. Today, we really have become a nation of multi-screeners. And what that really means is the majority of our time today is spent either in front of a computer, in front of your phone, a smartphone, your tablet, whether it's Android or iPad, and TV. And those situations and what devices that we're choosing is really driven by the context of what it is we're trying to accomplish. Okay, so you spend the majority of your time on the go, and you find yourself on your phone. It's with you. It's one of the three things that you'll never leave the house without: your keys, your wallet, or your cell phone. So when you're talking about mobile, and you're talking about mobile as a choice, and who is actively engaging with that product, those on the go, and it's one of those few things in this world anymore that you do not leave the house without. Okay. When it comes to the tablet, I like to call it that forward lean-back approach. Okay, the lean-back approach is with television. You're sitting in your chair and you lean back, and you can kind of just take in this whole brand new, maybe not so brand new, HD technology that we have today. Whereas the lean-back approach with your tablet is you're more forward-facing. You have it in your hand. What are you trying to accomplish? Very app-driven. Tablets today vary in size. Some of it is more for browsing the web than it is for app technology. Other things are just multitasking. I can have this app open here and I'm listening to music, or I could have this app open over here and I'm composing a document or a spreadsheet. So really that device of choice is driven by what it is we're trying to accomplish and how much time do we have to accomplish that goal. Okay, I have a few minutes. I need to figure out where I'm going. I need a bite to eat. I'll pull out my phone. I have time to sit back and research. I might be leaning back in my chair, absorbing my tablet, or I might be giving some of my attention to television. Which brings me to the third point, which is TV no longer commands your full attention. Okay, we are constantly jumping between screen to screen, mobile to tablet to television to what's that shiny thing outside the window. It no longer commands 100% of our time when we're sitting in front of it. Okay, so we're constantly juggling these different types of devices. We're constantly looking at different sites and different apps and different positions. Okay, the smartphone really today has become that cornerstone of daily media interaction. All right, it is like I said earlier, it's the thing we never leave home without anymore. Okay, it is sitting on your desk right now. Hopefully, some of you aren't using unless you're trying to tweet at me. I appreciate it if you do. Okay, but it's that cornerstone. It's that thing. It's that we have in our pockets every single day, and has become more and more the device of choice as it relates to consuming media and consuming products. At the end of the day, what we're really trying to do, and I say this to myself all the time, is how do I pay myself back? How do I find more time? Okay? How can I get things done simultaneously and accomplish and feel a sense of accomplishment at the end to feel like, yeah, I just got a few minutes of my day back, right? Like all of you do. It's between calls, it's in the car, it's scheduling consults, it's making your proposals, it's signing deals, it's doing your paperwork. Okay? Every one of us is trying to find that time and feel accomplished at the end of the day. So the reason why I bring all this up is every single one of these platforms, tablet, mobile, desktop, these are all products that we offer our advertisers today and afford them the opportunity to reach this on-the-go, ever-present audience. So in terms of what digital products are offered, I really kind of base it into that top to bottom sales funnel that we're all accustomed to seeing. Okay, at the very top of the sales funnel, it's those that are gaining awareness of products, of services, what it is that they have to offer, okay? In the middle, what are they trying to accomplish? Now that they're aware that something exists, what are they trying to drive to? What's the end goal, all right? Are they looking for deals? Are they looking for any offers along the way? And then finally, that direct response, or in our world, the close, right? The bottom of the funnel, active advertisers, new accounts. Okay. When it comes to digital, however, the products that I've listed here, just a small sampling of the things that are available in the marketplace. But advertisers will most oftentimes find themselves in one of these levels of the sales life cycle. Okay. So awareness products, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, display ads. Okay. I know I want something. I think I know something, or I don't know it by brand. I'm just really interested in a widget, okay? And I'm interested to see who offers that service for that particular widget, okay? So that's where search engine optimization comes in. Are your advertisers optimized well enough that if I search for that widget, they're going to be the first person that I find, okay? In search engine marketing, are they optimized enough for that keyword? Are they going to be the first person that I find, okay? And display ads. All of these together are very brand-centric style of digital advertising, okay? Selling digital is not one size fits all, okay? So when you understand a little bit about these products, as we get a little bit further down the line in terms of competitive landscape, you're going to have a better concept of what people are doing, what people are marketing, and what are some of these price points that we're up against, okay? So in the drive image bucket, social media, right? Social media isn't always a fit, right? Especially in the B2B space. But there are times where you'll find, especially in B2B, that on other networks, social media being in LinkedIn, perhaps it's Twitter. A lot of times people gravitate a little bit soon in social media and think of Facebook off the top of their heads. But today in that B2B space, LinkedIn, and especially now Twitter, have really become an image-based campaign where it's less about the warm and fuzzy pictures that you post or the offers that you serve, which a lot of our advertisers don't do necessarily. Those other social media outlets are still driving image and driving awareness for their business, okay? Video, something that's really, we're trying to catch on to more and more every single day, is video. How can we utilize video today to help drive brand image, okay? Utilizing our current ad positions to try to impress upon our consumers, our users, our clients, our audience, a new way to get that message out instead of it being just a static banner ad. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into our product offerings. Mobile today is still that Wild West. Everyone is trying to lasso mobile, and what it is mobile will ultimately become and how it will be used by marketers, okay? Today, mobile is a very specific offer-driven environment, okay? It is deals, it's links to downloading other apps, incentivizing the user to call to an action, to express an interest in a product. And there are times where we should be utilizing our mobile technology to really get these types of deals and offers out into the marketplace, okay? At the bottom of the funnel, you usually find email, okay, and direct response. There's a big line between awareness and direct response, okay? Web ads traditionally today are still very brand, very awareness-based campaigns, okay? When I talk about email in this context, I'm talking about direct mail marketing, okay? These are all good questions to ask in your needs assessment. Are you actively playing in that digital space? Have you ever utilized email marketing? Who do you utilize? You'll find names like a Constant Contact, or that has a pretty decent product. Or perhaps you'll hear, well, I'm doing some of that through the daily newspaper to kind of get that messaging out there. It's a great question to ask as you determine fit to see what it is that the advertiser's goals are, and are our product offerings really what it is that they are trying to accomplish, okay? So just a quick overview of just the different types of products and what it is that they offer. So talking the talk, this has been a big part of why I believe we've had success in digital products and digital selling, okay? Knowing the lingo is really, really, really important, okay? And feeling a sense of certainty maybe behind your words is probably the best way to put it, or trusting in your pitch and in your delivery of these talk factors, these trust factors, okay? And I talk a little bit here in bullet point number 2 about plausible believability. That's a made-up word that I just came up with, but it works in this context because a lot of my success in selling digital has been around this little bubble over here. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Advertiser, did you know that on average we spend about 4.5 hours of our leisure time in front of a screen every single day? You know, and I saw that on Google the other day. You know, that was a pretty cool stat, don't you think? You know, that plausible believability is the ability to just roll that stat right off your tongue, source it to something that they understand. Oh, he said Google, right? It's on the internet, must be true, okay? So I never get questioned. Maybe never is a strong word. Hardly ever get questioned about a stat that I quoted from a source that people know or understand or at least have heard of before. And it adds to that plausible believability. Yeah, I could believe that we spend 4.5 hours every day in front of a screen. Look, I have my phone out right now, and I'm looking at it right now. I can get that. Okay, so it's helpful to know what some of these sites are and engage with them. You know, I just did a roundtable at a social media at work event here in Harrisburg, and one of the questions was exactly that. How do you stay on top of everything? It's it changes overnight. Google will flip the switch on you in a heartbeat. I do a lot of reading. I subscribe to a lot of things, and I recommended some of those here. Mashable, great site. eMarketer, it doesn't get more digitally market-focused than eMarketer. And Google Think, if you haven't been or ventured into Google Think before, they have a lot of great white papers like the one I mentioned earlier, which I'll have a link to at the end. But it also provides some infographics on, you know, how is the automotive industry utilizing this technology, or how are lawyers using this technology, or financiers or banks. You know, you can pull together these infographics, and similar to what I have over here on the right, and it can kind of spit out for you, some great content for some of your proposals that you can slip into a pitch deck and have some talking points with your advertisers. Okay. It's also important to know what the constraints are of our sites, of your site. Okay. And what I mean by that is, there are a lot of cool technologies out there. Quite frankly, we don't have every single one of those today. And your advertisers always want to see how big of a check you're going to be able to cash before you can't cash it, if you know what I mean. Okay? So yeah, I was on XYZ site and I really thought that this was cool. The salesperson all of us says, yeah, we can do that. I'll just go back and we'll make that happen. Okay? Knowing your site and understanding what our constraints are and what it is that we can do and what it is that we can sell can kind of temper that conversation a little bit and make sure that you're both playing on even footing, because something that's nice and shiny thing over here might not necessarily translate really well to what we have accomplished and what we are trying to do as a brand, because that's really important too, because we are just not catering to our advertisers. We have a very large and growing group of users that come to us every single day, and we want to be cognizant of how they like to interact and how they like to utilize our technology. Okay, and being considered an expert, really at the end of the day, and a trusted partner, helps you when things go bump in the night. Okay, and what I mean by that is I certainly have lost deals to competitors who talk the talk even better than me. Okay. A lot of the times in today's competitive marketplace, and we'll touch on this again towards the end, daily newspapers, for one, have a vast array of digital products that they're offering, but no local support. Okay? So the front-end people, you and I, those of us that are in the trenches every single day, they're not the ones that are being educated in this way. They're really just asked to sell it and push it to somebody else. We're not asking you to do that. We're asking you to be the experts on this. So if there's a problem with a campaign, or an ad doesn't just look right, or you don't believe that that ad is accomplishing the goals set forth by the advertiser, it's really on you to be that expert, to say, you know what, Mr. Advertiser, you told me you really want to try to drive widgets. This ad isn't going to do that for you, right? That's on us. That's an optimization and making sure that we're delivering on the promises that we make, okay? So being that expert and that trusted partner really goes a long way to securing some long-lasting digital relationships. So metrics today are changing, right? When I got into this business 10 plus years ago, click-through rate was the end-all be-all metric, okay? How many clicks is my ad getting? All right? How many impressions, how many times did it come up? How many clicks did I get? Oh, what do you mean I got 10 clicks for 10,000 impressions? This isn't working. I'm never doing this again. Okay? Click-through rate today, especially in a marketplace such as ours, which is B2B, it's brand-centric. It's if you need an attorney, knock on wood, or you need a financier, that I want to be the person that you think of first. That's our business. Those are our customers. Okay? So the world of click-through rate really needs to be taken off the table, okay? And you need to be able to push that aside quickly. It's all about exposure to a desirable audience, okay? On the consumer side, it's much more about meeting and focusing on individuals that are ready, willing, and able to buy your product. On the consumer side, direct response is really where we see the activity in digital going, okay? How do I target this person that's doing this right now at this store, and I want them to come to my store, okay? It's an entirely different landscape than it is on the B2B side, which is I want you to think of me, and I want to be associated with your brand. I want people to say, hey, did you see that story on cpbj.com? Yeah, I was there the other day, and oh, what about that real, or that, excuse me, that finance house? I see them on there all the time. That's a winning campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a winning campaign. It might never get clicked on, but that person has now walked away from that experience, okay, because of the impressions and the audience that we've delivered, and they've made a connection, okay? They might never express an interest today. I use expression of interest a lot instead of click-through rate. If someone clicks on your ad, they're expressing interest in you, okay? The average click-through rate right now is about a 0.07, 7 clicks for every 10,000 impressions served, okay? So if those 7 people out of every 10,000 impressions, those are expressions of interest. Let's make sure that we're getting them to the right place. Which takes me to the next bullet point, bounce rate, right? You'll hear bounce rate a lot today, meaning, okay, you got me some traffic, people came to my site, well, what did they do when we got there? All right? Well, people coming from your site are bouncing at 80%. We might look at them like a deer in the headlights. What are you talking about? What's bounce rate, right? Bounce rate means you land on the site, and then you abandon that site at the same page. Okay? You never go any further into the site, right? So going back to that expression of interest and tying click-through rate to impressions and bounce rate, when you get them there, that landing page is really important, and that's a great opportunity for you to become consultative. What are your goals? What is your goal when someone expresses interest in your page, right? Do you want them to sign up for your newsletter? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to send you an email? Or are you just really interested in driving this particular, personal line? Maybe you need to write more life insurance, okay? You want to get people to that informational page so they can learn about you, or what's your story, okay? What is your end-all, be-all, right? And then how are you tracking that, Mr. and Mrs. Advertiser? How are you tracking that? Do you use Google Analytics? Well, I don't know. Do I? That's a great question to ask. I've run into plenty of advertisers who have no idea how to even pull their metrics, or they're utilizing a third party for their website, and they get a monthly report emailed to them on a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that says you got this, that, or the other thing, and they're just looking at hits. Okay, there's a big difference between page views, hits, and visits. And that's probably time for on another call. But there are pieces of this information you can say, you know what, there's an easy way for you to find out whether or not using Google Analytics. Let's pull up your site code. Let me show you how to do that quick. Right? And you go in and you go to options and you view code and you start typing Google Analytics, and oh, there it is. Oh, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Advertiser, there it is right there. You're using Google Analytics. So do you get in there often? No, I've never been in there. Do you have a username and password? No. Well, maybe that's something you should get from your web provider, because don't you want to understand a little bit better about the people that are using your site and where they're coming from and how you're spending your digital marketing dollars that you just told me that you're spending? Okay. And how often are people staying on your site? Are they coming? Are they just hopping right off? Are they digging through? Right? That time spent on site can tell an advertiser a lot about their landing page. Are they capturing people? And there's a lot of tools within Google Analytics that could be a great session for us down the road to talk a little bit about some of the things that our advertisers could be doing. Oh, and by the way, it's free, right? So if they're not using Google Analytics, it's probably a good option for them to consider, considering that there's no cost involved, okay? Cost per click, cost per thousand, cost per acquisition, right? Cost per click is the marketing term around pay-per-click advertising, like your paid Google AdWords. Cost per thousand, a lot of folks, especially on the agency side, are accustomed to buying things on a CPM basis. They want to know, how many impressions am I going to get? How much is it going to cost per thousand? Our model is a little bit different. We're much more sponsorship-based. That's a little bit hard for them to get accustomed to, but that's how we market, because we're brand-centric and we want to make sure that advertisers are getting a lot of value considering our niche. It also allows us to charge a premium for the content and for the impressions that we serve. Cost per acquisition, great question to ask. Mr. and Mrs. Advertiser, what's the cost of a new lead? What's the cost of someone, or what's the value of that to you, right? What's the value of a new lead? What's the value of a new email address? What's the value of someone that picks up the phone and calls you, right? A lot of times our advertisers don't put a value to that. So when we start looking at a budget, and we start looking at what it's going to cost, and premiums and premium placements, at the end of the day, what does a new lead mean to you? What's the value to those? And how many of those new leads do you need to acquire? What's your cost per acquisition in order to make this campaign affordable and make sense for you? We can work through that math together. Finally, refers. Where are people coming from, right? What sites are they coming from to visit your site? Is it Google? Is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? Is it CPBJ? Is it NJBiz? Is it Central Penn Parent? Where are people coming from, right? Another great way to kind of track these metrics. And I put this bubble here as more or less, this is kind of the scope of the advertiser, right? Do they understand the source? Where is it coming from, right? Is it commonplace? Is it something that everyone in the organization can understand, right? Can I get that data quickly from someone that I trust? Is it Google Analytics, or is it Omniture, or whatever I'm using to get those types of analytical metric data? Do I know how to get it? Is it credible? Or is it just on an Excel spreadsheet that anybody could have tapped a number into? Okay? And is it transparent? Is it easily understood? Do I know what my click-through rate is, and do I understand it? If you can solve and find that perfect metric bubble, and you can speak intelligently about these 6, 7 metrics that I have outlined, it's going to go a long way to helping you be that talking the talk, trusted advertising partner. Okay? So our mission digital, and this is my opinion, okay? And I've shared this with others on the call, and this is where I see us going, okay? And it is my belief that our mission is to deliver relevant and engaging content to our subscribers and users. That's our goal of our websites, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Our content should never be self-serving and should speak to the image and brand that we have stood behind for the past 30 years. And what I mean by self-serving is, especially when you're dealing in the social spaces, the biggest pitfall for our advertisers is, well, I'm going to put this up on here because I need to do this. I need to do that. And that's my pain point, right? With a total disregard of who their audience is and who their followers are. Okay? The internet allows you to take on different personas, okay? Whether that be on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, and if there's editors on the call, they could probably back me up on this, that what's good on Facebook doesn't necessarily mean that it's good on Twitter. And even in my personal life, I sit back and look at those different networks and say, I posted something on Facebook today, and it didn't get a lot of play. Why is that? I really thought that that would do better. But you know what? I got 5 or 6 retweets and a couple favorites on Twitter. Maybe that was more in line with my Twitter audience. Let me try that same post on LinkedIn and see if I can get some traction there, okay? So if you keep that self-serving, I just want to drive this, right? And you don't think about the people that are actually utilizing your site, especially when you're thinking about your ad creative and the types of individuals that are using your sites, your ads aren't going to work, okay? Creative is everything, all right? So that self-serving creative that doesn't speak to the end user isn't going to work for us, okay? Because our digital advertising platforms allow our customers to speak to an audience. This is audience-based selling, okay? It is not product and price plays, right? Who are we reaching? Who are the types of individuals? And does that meet and match the type of audience that you're trying to catch with your marketing message, okay? By associating their message with our brand, our clients trust us. You're going to hear that word a lot. Trust us to deliver these audiences and report successes and failures quickly and optimize. The worst thing we can do is run a campaign and give a report 6 months later and say, well, here's your numbers. How'd you think it went? Right? There's a situation going on right now that with someone on my team where we had an advertiser who just didn't think it was working, right? Just didn't think it was working, didn't like his placement, just thought the content and the piece itself that he was marketing on was great, but he just didn't feel like his ad was working, and he was totally in on the brand idea, right? And so instead of just saying, I'm gonna cancel, it gave us an opportunity to optimize. It gave us an opportunity to sit down with him and say, you know what, I get it. I can see why you say that. I understand now how you're utilizing this technology, and I see for myself how you're interacting with it, right? Let's give us an opportunity to optimize this a little bit. Let's try a different placement, okay, that speaks a little bit more towards how you're utilizing this, because if you're utilizing it that way, maybe your customers are as well. So we want to be cognizant of that. So we were able to save that business by turning it around from, okay, you just want to cancel, keep you happy, let's see where we can put your money elsewhere, into give us an opportunity to optimize this, okay? And, our goal, hopefully, down the road, we meet with him again in the very near future, is we want to see that change occur in his mindset about where his ad placement is and what it's trying to accomplish, all right? So being able to optimize quickly is really going to help us as we grow. So what do we sell? Okay. So a little bit of general training around the hyper-localness of our display campaigns. Okay. The bullets that I have down the side: rich media, video, mobile, email, interstitial. Okay. Those are at its core all digital display positions. Okay. Rich media. Does it walk? Does it talk? Does it go to the bathroom? Okay. That's rich media. Your flash ads, your animated GIFs, anything that just doesn't sit there and is static, okay, would be constituted as rich media, okay. Video. Today we can embed video into stories. We can embed commercial video into the work that we do, okay. And technology allows us to embed videos in traditional display spots, okay. So instead of it just being this display ad here, okay, it affords us the opportunity to place a video there that a user can view and sit through as video becomes more and more a product of everyday life on the internet. Mobile, we'll talk a little bit about the mobile offerings themselves. However, mobile is just another form of display, okay? It's display ads, and it's just in a different way it's being delivered to the customers. Okay. Email, we sell a wide variety of engaging email programs and daily email blasts. You know, we blast the market consistently throughout the day, and the feedback we've always received is, as long as the content is good, I'm going to read it. Okay? So we'll continue to send these emails as long as we deliver that engaging content that our audience desires. Okay? That's what it's all about, right? We want to make sure that we don't forget about the people that are utilizing our sites every single day. Okay? And finally, interstitial ads. We call them splash ads, interstitial ads, pop-up, pop-unders, whatever you want to call them. The general term is interstitial. Okay? It means it's occurring between the user and the content that they're trying to get to. So it's happening in the middle, or interstitial. And we'll talk a little bit about those kind of ads here in just a second. So, like I said, engaging e-newsletters. What I tried to highlight here are just some of the positions that are available. All right. I'll talk a little bit about the sizes and pixels and things like that here in a moment, but I want to just highlight quickly ad placements throughout the different e-newsletters that we offer. I also wanted to talk a little bit about this text box ad. You know, you heard me talk a little bit about direct response and branding a little while ago. The text box ads are probably the closest things that we have to direct response. Our text box ads today are getting along the lines of close to a 0.4% click-through rate. All right, so that's pretty incredible. That's actually 40 clicks for every 10,000 impressions delivered. Okay, so, and they're much more of that native content. The advertisers are able to provide that 50-word count and really kind of drive that that direct message. It's also, we're layering it in between the content, and we do that purposefully because we wanted to take on that view of, oh, this is another story. Oh, that's really interesting. How do I click through? How do I learn more about that? So we're tricking the system a little bit, but it's really driving up response around e-newsletters. So if you have an advertiser that is looking to be more direct response, text box ads could be a good place for you to go. So I wanted to give a little bit of background around some of these newer positions that you may or may not be accustomed to. The interstitial positions. Pixel size on that is 430 by 375. Pixels, not inches, okay? I know we always get wrapped up in, well, how many inches is that? Completely separate thing, okay? Pixels, the dots per inch that make up the screen resolution on the screen that you're viewing this presentation on, okay? So if you're in the boardroom here on a 55-inch flat panel, and 430 by 375 pixels is the same as it is on my little 17-inch screen here in my monitor, okay? So you can't get into the inches versus pixels game, okay? Our designers know what pixels are. They do a great job of designing these ads. So make sure that you understand there is a difference. Don't break out your ruler and start measuring people's screens, okay? Because that's not going to work for you, all right? This does overlay the page, as I have outlined here. Users must initiate either a forced close or a click-through to terminate the session, okay? If they just leave it up there, it'll stay up there forever, okay? So it really does give a powerful punch to this ad message for this particular advertiser. Here it is sold weekly. I put the star on that because every building is going to be different, and I don't know your schedules around that, so I want to just let you know here at the Business Journal in Harrisburg, we sell this product weekly. And as I mentioned before, a recent campaign returned a 0.36 or 36 clicks for every 10,000 impressions served on a click-through rate that is 5 times what would be considered as a national average for click-throughs. News where and when you want it, okay? All of our Business Journal sites have what are called M-dot sites. You might hear people say that terminology, an M-dot, M standing for mobile, okay? So in this example, m.yoursite.com, so m.cppj, lvb, njbiz, they all exist. If you view them as I have listed here at the bottom, on your mobile, this is what they would translate into. You can jump back to the full point and zoom site if you wish, but this is how mobile users today want to interact. They don't want to point and zoom. They want to be able to find things quickly, and more being accustomed to that M.dot style site. Here at the CPBJ, we recently launched a new iPad app. For those of you with an iPad, I highly recommend you download it. Little selfless plug there. Thank you very much. We do have advertising positions available on that, and we just recently here, first quarter, had launched that. So we are still gaining traction, gaining traffic. But I will point out here some of these mobile page views year over year. Every one of us is showing growth year over year in page views. And right now here at the CPBJ, we're doing about 25,000 page views a month mobily. So we're kind of getting to that line where we really have something not only to sell, but a great story to tell to our advertising partners about the audience that we are generating, okay? Award-winning video capabilities. You know, we have FGV. FGV, welcome to the call today. Thanks so much for jumping on. We do pre-roll style commercial video, all right? So videos will initiate on a video start. The pre-roll for this lives on our Vimeo site, /CPBJ, for if you'd like to check it out after the call. And here's just some example metrics of this one particular campaign. Page was loaded 3,500 times. Video was played 483 times, and the average watch time was over 10 minutes. So a lot of people stuck with it. This was a video that one of the reporters here at the Business Journal, Jason Scott, did with the Transportation Secretary here in Pennsylvania, Barry Schock. I'm going to click on this now. Hopefully this will work for us. And you guys will be able to see the video.
Unbelievable what we do matters. Every day we're out with our customers. We're making sure the sites are set up safely, focusing on the safety of our people, on the customer, and on the ability for traffic to flow as efficiently through our work zones as possible. I like seeing the smiles on people when they feel like they've done a great job and they've kept the client safe that day.
So just another piece of value that we can offer our advertisers here at JM. Apologize for the video. I have a lot of, obviously, digital technology around my desk, and sometimes it messes with my speakers, so I hope we were able to hear that. But if you want more information, I would recommend checking out our Vimeo site. The CPBJ staff editorial side is constantly posting videos there. And, of course, you got a good lead. Talk to Fran and his team. See how we can partner together and pull something like this together. So it's a really great option that we now have. So I am not aware, and I'm fairly certain, that all of our sites are basically using these same ad units. I tried to incorporate into this slide as many as I could to try to cover everything. And again, this is more or less just going into the terminology, okay? People talk about leaderboards. How much is your leaderboard? How much is your banner ad? How much is a large banner ad? What's a medium rectangle? Or another terminology for that is a LREC, or large rectangle, depending on who you're talking to. So I just wanted to make this more of a point of reference. Again, these slides are going to be available to everybody. I have a PDF, and I will make the PowerPoint available as well. Maybe something like this you'd like to incorporate into a pitch deck and talk to your advertiser about the different sizes and the different places and understand where they are, where they live, and how they can better utilize a message from those positions. So what's the best course of action, right? It's 11:50. We're doing really great, okay? What's the best course of action? In our model, assessing needs is paramount, okay? And I use the may I take your order style, okay? And maybe it goes back to my bartending days and working in the restaurant biz, when I was in college and growing up at the shore. But, it's the same kind of mentality. Who's your target? Who are you reaching now? Who do you desire to reach? Who's your target audience? what is your geographic reach? How far is someone willing to travel to visit you or to utilize your services? Okay. Have you ever advertised digitally before? Okay. Have you ever thought about it? You have? Great. What are you doing? Okay. Who are you working with? What are the type of the products that they offer you that you're seeing value in? What are your expectations about those products? Okay? What do you expect to get out of this? How do I win the game? Okay? How do I win? Because I can pull together an incredible proposal and bring you a marvelous looking plate of food, but if it's not what you ordered, you're not going to buy it. Okay? So what are your expectations? Right? That's a question we forget about all the time. What are you trying to get out of this? Are you trying to get brand? Are you trying to sell something? Right? What keeps you up at night? What is it about your business, or what is it about life in general that keeps you up at night? Because 9 times out of 10, that answer is going to surprise you. Right? What is the pain? Everything that we do should circle back to the pain. Okay? To find out whether or not we are a good fit for advertising. Okay? What keeps you up at night? Well, I really need to hire new people. Okay, because I'm growing so fast. All right? Or, you know, I really need to move this, or no one knows about me, and everybody knows about my competitor. Okay? What keeps you up at night? Because sometimes that answer is personal, and you can't always change everything. You can't be everything to everyone, and sometimes that pain point isn't something you'll be able to fix with advertising, okay? So fit in a lot of places can mean, is timing, is it sales pressure, is it price? Those are really the 3 things that we try to look for in determining fit, okay? Is it price? Is the timing right? And is there an adequate amount of constant gentle pressure going on? Okay? So depending on what stage of the digital funnel the advertiser's in, we might have to say to ourselves, I don't know if this is a fit, guys. Like, I don't know if this is a fit for us. Is the advertiser interested in branding? Are their clients aware that the advertiser exists if someone was asked about them on the street? Okay? Are we a fit? And sometimes it's hard to say that. You know what? And I've said it. You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Advertiser, I don't think there's a fit here for our digital products. Kind of throwing it back onto them in a way to say, well, I don't know about that, Sean. I don't know if I'd say there's no fit. I really like what you have going on over here because I could see a home for that in XYZ. I kind of almost thrown a objection out there and let them overcome it for me, okay, to see if there really is a fit that exists. And if there truly isn't, well, that's being consultative, right? That's being saying, you know what, that billboard's out there is really working for you, you know, and you should do that. But let me show you how I can layer on top of that and reach this audience so that you're reaching multiple sides of the street, okay? That's being honest, and that's being a trusted advertising partner, and that's going to help us down the line, okay? So that consultative approach at this stage is really important because we might have to walk away from business today, but it could very well mean big business for us tomorrow, okay? Our proposals should cure the pain. They should cure the pain, okay? Our proposal should solve the pain. When our proposal does not solve a pain point, there is no reason to buy, okay? If we don't know what's keeping a person up at night, we don't know what their expectations are, we don't know what their goals are, there is no pain, there's no reason to buy something, okay? It should also meet the expectations of the client because of what we learned when we assessed need, right? Did we bring the right plate of food? You ordered the lobster. You ordered the lobster, I brought you a plate of lobster, okay? I don't know what my budget is. Well, I'm going to bring you a plate of lobster. I'm going to show you that oceanfront room with the king-size bed with the private balcony overlooking the water. You can tell I worked in hotel motel, okay? And I'm going to show it to you, and it's going to be $400 a night. What do you think? Whoa, I don't want to spend that much. Okay, so where do you think we need to be? Somewhere between the oceanfront room and a poolside, right? What's that happy medium? Okay, so you really wanted lobster. I showed you lobster. You really weren't interested in lobster because you didn't give me a number. What you really want is a nice piece of steak with a side. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay? So make sure you're bringing out that right plate of food. Start at the end. This process starts at the end, right? And circles backwards. The pain is at the end. Let me take that pain. My proposal should solve the pain. That proposal should roll back to my needs assessment. This is what I heard you say. These are the 3 things that I'm going to do to help you solve that pain. Let me walk you through my pitch deck. It's going to be this much. What are our next steps? Here's your next steps. I need your ad by this date. I need this by this date. And here's a contract. I brought a pen. Okay? We always forget next steps, right? What is the next step in the process, right? We end with, as I will today, thanks. Thanks for your time today. Here's my name. Here's my contact information. We are training people. We always deal with, and we heard a little bit the other day about deadlines and how people wait to the last minute. We've trained our advertisers to do that. Every media has done it. It's not just us. It's every media. Tell them what the next steps are going to be. Tell them up front in your proposal, right? To solve this pain point, and you want to do this tomorrow, I need to have your creative by this date, okay, to make sure that we get this up and running, right? So don't forget that as we build our proposals together. In the last few minutes here, I want to talk a little bit about competition, okay? Many competitors in this space selling a variety of products. It's good to know, everyone, it's good to know what it is you're up against, because in our print products, we're very niche. In most of our markets, no one's doing business news the way we are, and I'm proud to say that here in South Central Pennsylvania that we are the #1 source for business news and information in our marketplace, hands down. In the digital space, there's a lot of people competing for the same dollars, okay? Third-party ad networks, Ad Taxi. Maybe some of you have already run up against Ad Taxi. I know that we have Ad Taxi here in my marketplace because I was the director of that department, okay? Rubicon. Rubicon was just recently in the news. You probably saw them ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. That guy is probably younger than me. He's worth $1 billion, okay? He develops a third-party ad network where you go to a site and you see Punch the Monkey or you see LowerMyBills.com. That's Rubicon, okay? They're selling remnant space on other sites, okay? Point Roll does something similar. They're similar to a Centro. For those of you that deal with majors, you might have run up or talked to a Centro before. Selling really low-cost inventory on channel sites, just buying up placements for a nickel a thousand. Google Ad Network. Google's competitor? Absolutely. Okay. Google in the search space does 20% of their business is in SEM or search engine marketing. 20% of their business. It's worth $8 billion, $8 billion with a B dollars to that company every single year. Okay. So 20% of that business is a lot of money. Facebook, obviously a competitor. You can spend money on Facebook right now. SEO and SEM marketers, your web page FXs of the world or anybody else that is selling SEO, website designers that sell SEO, SEM, that's digital advertising dollars, guys. Daily newspapers, you heard me talk about before. Everything above so far is offered by a daily newspaper. I could buy SEO from them. I could buy Facebook from them. I could buy Google from them. I could buy third-party networks from them. They have a vast majority of products, but it's a very splinched market, meaning they are everywhere and they have difficulty in fulfillment, okay? Lots of difficulty in fulfillment. Yellow Pages, very low-cost points of entry. Some of their products are very good. If you run up against a Yellow Page advertiser, and the question I always ask is, well, do you have a dedicated account manager for your digital buy? If the answer to that question is no, then they're probably spending about $200 to $300 a month on that product. If they are saying yes, they're probably spending $3,000 to $5,000 a month with the Yellow Pages on SEO and SEM marketing alone, outside of the book. So when you start to ask your leading questions and determining what people are buying, that's a great one to ask and a good piece of information to know. You can buy banner ads on radio stations, and obviously advertising agencies will sell their clients any vast number of these as they bring more of these services in-house, okay? So really quickly on kind of that new core, what is the new core, right? Before 1994, print was everything, everything else was in its infancy, everything revolved around the print product, right? The Earth is flat, and it's the center of the universe, okay? Today, however, the new core, ladies and gentlemen, is everything that we offer is our core product, okay? Print's at the core, events is the core, digital is the core, inserts, classifieds. Everything we do is our new core, okay? So not one product should ever be thought of as inferior to or against something else, because we are selling audience. These are products, ladies and gentlemen, products. We are selling the audience. Who are you trying to reach today, Mr. Advertiser? Who it is that you want to try to reach. That's the goal. And that might be print, it might be digital, it might be events, it might certainly be all three, it might be a supplement, it might be a classified ad. Everything we do is the new core. So on objection handling, okay? Standard process, right? Define the objection, gain agreement, present the sale, close the sale, right? But here's the new trick in the book. Lie, cheat, steal, and hide. Or grumpy cat just doesn't like you, okay? It's one of those, right? The first lie is, yeah, I love it. I love everything you brought to me today, okay? The second lie is, well, I got to talk to my partner or business person or the man behind the curtain, okay? And then they cheat, right? They take your ideas and they shop them, okay? They take your proposal, who can do it best, right? And then they steal it, or they just plain old steal your ideas and do them themselves. Well, what of this can we do ourselves? Well, most of it. Okay, we'll just steal it. Good ideas. We'll just steal them all, okay? But then you finally get to it. It just came up today in another meeting. It was, I got this great buying signal. They're in. They're going to do it. Now I can't find them. They're hiding in the bushes. They're hiding from me. Can't find them anywhere, right? That's the new objection, right? And it really comes down to this final question. Do you see value in what I have presented to you today? Is there value? Do you see it? Yeah, I see some value in this or that. I'm not really sold on that. Okay, let's move that off the table. Let's get those pieces out of the, let's get the red marker out and figure out what it is that we need to get to, right? But if I haven't shown you value, there's no reason to buy, right? Have I shown you value in what I presented to you today? It's a great question to ask so you can try to prevent the lies and the cheatings and the stealings and people hiding in the bushes from you. And if Grumpy Cat doesn't like you, then I can't do anything about that. So it is 12:03. I promised a hard stop at 12 o'clock. This is pretty darn good. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I hope I showed you value in today's presentation. As the most interesting man in the world says, I don't advertise much, but when I do, I call ShaunJude McCoach. I encourage you to reach out. Give me a call. Not hard to find. I have my email address listed here. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on LinkedIn. I'm going to go back through and check through the question queue, make sure that I get everything that was out there. Thank you to those of you that have posted some questions. And I wish you all the best of luck. Let's not be strangers. We're all working under the same umbrella. If you have further questions or want to just talk offline about a subject or a topic today, feel free to reach out. Again, thank you for your time, and this will end today's webinar. Cheers.